boys and girls, and welcome to this week's virtual assembly. We are going to start with a welcome message from Mrs Mackay, followed by our Seesaw Superstars. We're then going on to our choice of the week, followed by some French with Miss Healy, and then Mrs Gardiner and some of the boys and girls are going to give us a little update. Finally, we'll finish off with pictures and videos of all of your work that you have been doing during Focus Fortnight. So let's get started.
Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to this week's assembly. I hope that you are all well, that no one has very bad coughs and colds, though there's lots of things going around just now, lots of bugs, so it's all the more important to keep apart from one another, to always wash your hands, and to make sure if you're coughing or you're sneezing, you're always covering your nose and your mouth with your arm or your elbow or a tissue, and then binning that. It was great being in on Monday, and I really enjoyed seeing you all. It was wonderful having a very special visitor as well. Maudie McKenna came out to have a good walk around about the school, and she was in and out some classes. She was down at the COP26 activities, and she even had a special longer visit, meeting and chatting with her boys in the nest. So it was a really good day for her to come out and see all the wonderful things that we are doing in our schools. Excuse me, I've got a wee bit of a sore throat. I am very excited that we are now in the stages of a formal consultation regarding our two schools, St Stephen's Mainstream Primary, St Kevin's Additional Learning Needs Primary, but our two schools stopping having those two names and about us joining together as one school. Now, I don't know what that new school's name is going to be, but the consultation is just making sure that we ask people what they think about this. I know some people might be a wee bit worried because they might think by becoming two schools, or becoming one school, and stopping being two schools, that it means that everybody's just going to mix in together. My answer is there is going to be absolutely no change. All that's going to stop is us saying constantly St Stephen's and St Kevin's Primary. If you are in the mainstream part of our school, if you're in St Stephen's, then that's where you're going to continue to be. If you have a difference that means you need a lot of support, like some of our boys and girls in St Kevin's, then you're going to remain in what is going to be called an enhanced provision. And that means that that's where you will go if you need extra support. The amazing thing about our school is we are full of difference. We have got 32 languages. We have got different religions, we have got different skin colours, we have got different cultures and traditions, we have got children who communicate differently, whether it's English or in a different language, or whether it's using signs or symbols or gestures to communicate. We have got children who have autism in St Kevin's, and every class in St Stephen's, someone has autism, or some people have autism. We have got children who struggle to read and find spelling and organising their thoughts on paper very difficult because they have dyslexia. We have got some boys and girls who find buttoning up their shirts or holding their pencil or keeping their balance. They find that very hard because they have dyspraxia. We have got some children who find counting and remembering numbers and sequences and patterns and number stories incredibly difficult because they have dyscalculia. Difference is not just mainstream and St Kevin's. Difference is everywhere in our school. And the wonderful thing about us becoming one school with one name is that inclusion, us all coming together, when it's appropriate, whether it's to eat our lunch, or whether it's to be outside in the playground, or whether it is to be in some classes together, or whether it's to go on trips. The wonderful thing about us becoming one school with one name is that difference is celebrated, and everybody's right to learn with their friends in their community is accepted and promoted. And so we will continue to be exactly the type of school that we are, accessing learning where we need to access learning, being in the part of the playground that we need to be, being in the part of the dinner school that we need to be. But that's because we are one school. It's not because our difference makes us separate. So that is what we are thinking about very carefully. That's what we're thinking about whilst we do our consultation. And that's what my vice captains and my captains and my prefects will be talking to you about on Monday before you come along to make your vote. Now, I'm thinking about my COP26 pledge from last week. And so instead of us printing off paper to do a paper ballot, then what we are going to do is when you come along to say, do you want our school? Do you think we should be one school? Listening to the way that I have presented it to you, do you think we should have one name? Then what you're going to do is go into the ballot part and use an iPad that is linked to a glow form for you to cast your vote. So we have your voice captured, your thoughts, your ideas, what you think you want the school to be, but we're doing it in a very eco-friendly way that means that we don't have to be cutting down trees to have the paper for you to fill in your form. So lots of responsibility, lots of taking on board what we have been very, very clearly thinking about over the last 2 weeks in our focus fortnight, and lots of opportunity for us to be catalysts of change. What does that mean? It means that we are going to make a difference, that we have the power and the voice to go from one thing to another. So I know there are lots of exciting things for us to be looking at in this week's assembly. So as always, here comes the next bit. See you shortly.
So this week on Seesaw, we've had 418 posts added, 235 comments and 358 likes of student work, as well as 81 visits by family members. We've seen some awesome work this week from our home learning grids for Focus Fortnight, and you may just see some of your home learning in Seesaw Superstars or in the pictures and videos later on in this week's assembly. So we're now moving on to our choice of the week. It might be a joke of the week or a random fact, an on this day in or a news story from around the world. It could be a quote of the week or a sports fact or a movie or music clip or a Guess Who. And this week we have a news story from around the world, and because it's been Focus Fortnight and all things COP26, we're going to watch and listen to some children who live in different parts of the world, and they're going to share all about how climate change and COP26 are affecting where they live and how it's affecting their lives.
Hi, News Rounds.
I'm from Lebanon.
From Oman.
I'm calling from Nigeria.
Of Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm from China.
Wales, England,
United States of America,
Galapagos in Ecuador,
Spain,
Portugal.
I live in Sydney and I'm worried about the coral reefs.
That there seems to be more severe weather. For example, heavy storms that cause flooding.
We had a cyclone. Lots of trees were falling. Lots of people were injured. Schools were closed.
Dust storm in Dunhuang. Also, the typhoon in Shanghai, China.
Increased flooding, unpredictability in weather conditions, and hillside erosion. My concern is the impact these have on the agriculture sector and their abilities to supply food.
There are some plants that can't grow in the weather due to the heat becoming more. So the farmers have less income.
In my country, food items have become very expensive.
The California water drought was a big problem for a long time. We have to save water every day.
Lakes are very big and fresh water that provide and supply to Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. But due to climate change, 95% of the water in the Chad is gone.
If the climate turns hotter, there are going to be more heat waves, more droughts, more severe bushfires, and less rain.
One thing is that forest fires happen more often than before. Also, in summer, it reaches a higher temperature.
Temperature of some oceans currents will change and pushing some animals to migrate to another place. If we don't have any plants or animal here, the tourism will disappear and our economy too.
I've seen a bunch of plastic and stuff go on top of these animals in the ocean. I want the world to be pretty and happy and nice, not plastic around turtles' necks and stuff like that.
I care about the trees and all the plants and fishes.
I wish COP26 could stop global warming because even a little bit of warmness to cover will turn white and that will make a signal that it is dying. If sea level keeps rising and rising, the city will disappear.
In Lebanon, we're facing fossil fuel shortages. This is because we haven't had a plan to use solar energy or hydroelectric energy.
Cars and factories make air pollution, which slowly makes the earth hotter.
The air will not be pure enough for people to breathe, and it can cause health problems like asthma.
What I want to see change is more bicycles and more electric cars.
Remove any use of oil or coal to reduce these carbon emissions.
I want to see change in the average temperature.
Things I want changed are the amount of trees and forests being destroyed. Every time a tree is cut down, 5 more should be planted.
Many people and animals are homeless. I hope the weather disasters could be fewer and fewer.
If we each take care of our own environment, this can have a positive effect on the entire world.
So we're now moving on to our languages with Miss Healy, and this week she is going to share some French vocabulary that you can use to talk about pets and animals. Don't forget to take part in some of the Seesaw tasks or to share your videos on Seesaw of you practicing your French vocabulary from this week.
Bonjour tout le monde. Cette semaine, nous allons apprendre les noms des animaux domestiques et les animaux sauvages. Vous devez faire un peu de travail de dictionnaire. Bon travail. Au revoir, à bientôt.
Les animaux de compagnie. Un chien. Un chat. Un oiseau. Une tortue, un serpent, un poisson, un lapin, un cochon d'Inde, un hamster, un lézard.
So we now have a special video that was made by Mrs. Gardiner to share with you for this week's assembly, and it's all about the work that Mrs. O'Neill and the Articles 12 squad have been helping to lead across our school. Let's take a look at all of the amazing work that you have been doing.
Children's rights and all the others do the best for us.
We all have a right to be educated.
We have a right for friends and family.
All children have the right to safe and clean shelter.
We all have a right to privacy.
We have a right to be safe.
We have a right to be heard.
One year ago, we gave out games to teach people about their rights.
Last year, the Articles 12 squad went into their classes and started talking about the story of Cinderella because her rights wasn't really respected.
Hello, my name is Mr McSwain. We achieved our silver accreditation for a rights respecting school. And part of the thing we do is our restorative approaches. So we have our restorative lanyards with our restorative questions on it. If there's ever an instance, we can talk to the pupils about what happened, what were they thinking, how did they feel, who else has been affected, and what do they need to do now to move on. We also have our symbols on the other side for our pupils who are less verbal. It's who, what happened, to who, and how did you feel. Now these symbols are taken from our colourful semantics and they tie in our fix-it folders. So if there ever is an issue, we can look straight away and say, we all have rights, we all deserve to be treated fairly. And some of our articles are Article 12, I have the right to be listened to and taken seriously. Article 19, I have the right to be protected from being hurt or badly treated. Article 29, I have the right to an education which develops my personality, respect for others, rights and environment. And Article 39, I have the right to help if I have been hurt, neglected or badly treated. So how these folders work is you take out your sheet, and if you want to come over here, we'll put it out, and then you look, come on over here, you can look. We look to the first page and we say, who's involved? And the pupils can say, well, it was me and my class. We then look to the next page, and what happened? Somebody shouted it. And who was it? It was a friend. So how did that make you feel? Oh, I felt mad and I felt worried. Well, what needs to happen now? They need to say they're sorry, or maybe you could play with someone else until things have been fixed. Then the last page says, next time I could to a teacher or talk to a friend perhaps, and this will paint up a picture of what has happened using restorative language. So all pupils have a voice, no matter their communication needs or abilities.
So we've now came to the end of our Focus Fortnight, and we have been amazed at all of the work that's been going on in our classes. There have been workshops led by Primary 6 and 7 with all of our classes and the nursery getting involved in. We've had trips out to Strathclyde University. We've had litter picks. We've had visitors to each of our classes as well. And there has been a huge amount of work of our home learning on Seesaw too. So we're now going to take a look at some of the pictures, videos and work that has been completed by all of you. And I know you will be amazed at all of the learning that's been going on. And even though COP26 and Focus Fortnight have came to an end, we are still going to be continuing to learn about all of those important things and to look at how we can help to protect our world.
And COP26!
Oh, okay. COP26. I've been hearing about that too.
I know.
So what do you want me to do?
What is climate?
You asking me what climate is? Oh, well, I remember back in the days, climate, we often confused it with weather. Why weather is what the day is like, how the day feels like. Maybe, is it cold, is it windy, or is it hot or cold? Yeah, climate is a bit different. Climate is the condition of the atmosphere.
All right.
Of a place over a long period of time. Okay?
Alright.
Mommy, I'm gonna ask you a question too.
Yes.
Okay. How do we stop climate change?
How do we stop climate change?
I know.
Well, you know?
Yes.
Okay, tell us.
Alright. Reduce our water bottle.
Oh, there you go again. Okay.
Planting more trees instead of cutting down them.
Oh, can you tell us why we need more trees instead of cutting them down?
Oxygen! So, trees help us breathe.
Yeah, that's true. No, is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so what else do we need to do to help our climate or to help the world?
Alright. Stop using electricity when you stop doing put it on off or also electricity.
Oh, I get it.
Work.
Stop playing with the electric switch, right?
Yeah.
Like on and off, like you used to do those days when you were little. So, Pearl, why do we need to turn off the electricity? When we don't need them.
So we don't waste energy.
Oh.
Because right now
we're gonna save some money when we do that, right?
Of course.
Okay, so what's the next question?
Stop using cars for driving to school. You can just walk to school instead. You waste your car's full.
Or use a bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your next question is...
Okay, so why do we need to walk sometimes?
So that
we don't waste the car's fuel.
Oh, we'll be saving money still. Why we save people from breathing bad air like smoke?
Yeah.
And we should stop building a lot of factories, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Why? Why is that?
Because they'll make more smoke
the bad air, the
because the bad air isn't good for us and all the animals.
I see. Why these factories produce contaminated air to us? The plants give us oxygen. I'd rather plant more trees. Thank you guys. So interesting knowing what corporate is all about. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Behind the lines. More brown paint, brown. We're going to do the coal there so it doesn't matter. That's brown. You're making the coal. We can do the coal brown if you want, or black in a minute. Good, that's brown.
What's COP26? COP26 is happening here in Glasgow. It is a climate conference to put a stop to climate change. World leaders are coming together to see how we can achieve this goal. What can we do? We can use the free art, reuse, reduce, and recycle. We can turn off the lights when not necessary. Try our best to walk more instead of using cars or buses. It all starts with you.
What are you doing?
I take a recycled bottle.
Plastic
bottle.
Good. And after this picture, what are you doing?
And after this picture, I will put plastic bottle in the recycle bin.
Okay, very well done.
Hi, today I'm gonna do exercise on my foot. The reason why I'm doing that is number one, exercise, and number two, my homework.
Ayun na.
Ayaw isang recycle. Na paper
那这边是不是？我把 plastic bottle， 这个是不是？哦，阿米呢？
I am the Lorax. You should stop cutting down trees or else you'll have no air to breathe in.
Hello, I'm the Lorax and I have to leave my own home because of this man that didn't stop cutting down trees. And I'm very unhappy.
Promote the particular film. So why do you think the filmmaker wants you to listen to this clip?
And to learn about climate change?
Yeah, that's one answer.
So just before we finish off with a little message from Mrs Mackay, Primary 5 and Mrs O'Neill prepared a little video all about Remembrance Day and poppies.
The red poppy means all the people who died in World War I and other conflicts.
The purple poppy is about Donald died during war.
The black poppy represents the black, African and Caribbean people that died during war.
The white poppy represents the people that died in the conflict with a focus on the end of the war.
Well, boys and girls, it's almost time to go home. Thank you to you and your teachers for all your hard work this week. I hope that you all have a good weekend, that you sleep well, that you rest well, that you remember to always be kind and to make good choices. And I will see you very soon because I'm in on Monday. See you then. Bye.